Hello, everybody. Welcome back. Welcome back to my page, platform, wherever you're watching me. Welcome back. I'm happy to have you. The 40 Days of Love, right? That's what we're doing. 40 Days of Love series. We are jumping in. Absolutely 100. And today is day 23. So we're going to recap day 23 and then prep for day 24. These couple of days, it's getting into some intense stuff, but praise God, right? We're here for it. So, for those of you who are new, my name is Pastor Shakima. I'm so excited to be with you tonight. And for the last 23 nights, I've been with you every single night. And I will be with you for the next 17 nights, right before Love Day. We end on Love Day. And I will be thankful for all that God has done during this time. I pray that something I've shared has helped you in your marriage, something has helped you with just yourself. I want your marriage to thrive and to do well, but your marriage has no chance of thriving and doing well if you're not well. So I hope that if even if we haven't touched the marriage yet, we've touched you, right? I'm always here for self-reflection and self-growth. It's it's the only thing that can get you to where you want to be in the marriage. Y'all forgive me, I am tired tonight. I did a workout and it was tough. It was a tough workout and I am beat. All right, day 23. This was love always protects. Love always protects. That was a good one from yesterday. Here was your dare for today. Remove anything that is hindering your relationship, any addiction or influence that is stealing your affections and turning your heart away from your spouse. Your reflection questions, which I always encourage you to go back and read. What did you throw out first? Are there other things that need to go as well? What do you hope the removal of these things will do for you, your marriage, and your relationship with God? Now, here's the thing. I think when we come to the faith, this is what I understand and believe. When we come to the faith, they tell us, whoever's leading us tells us, you don't have to clean yourself up. God's going to clean you up, right? And so you would think that you keep doing what you're doing, and when you fall in love with God enough, you'll stop doing what you're doing. That's kind of the premise that they go on. I want to say the same is kind of like this, removing those things. Excuse me, y'all, haven't had a cup of coffee today. Removing those things, right, that we are addicted to, those things that pull our attention away from our spouse and the Lord, those misplaced priorities, those, what else was another one? Misplaced priorities, unhealthy relationships, those harmful influences, those physical temptations, and shame. Those were the things he talked about last night in those parasites. There are a lot of, even when you think about unhealthy relationships, a lot of people don't want to get rid of their friends, right? They've been my homies. They've been holding me down since grade school, since high school. I get that and I understand it. Nobody really wants to get rid of your friends, but if those friends are not beneficial to you and your marriage, then unfortunately they have to go. They have to go. And I'm not saying, I don't think what I'm saying is you have to be mean to people, right? What I'm saying is you got to decrease the time you spend with them. Some of y'all might need to, ease people in. But I heard again, Trill AC, that guy, I wish I knew his name, but I listened to a lot of his stuff that he put out. He said, there is no way. He said, if somebody is coming against my girl, me and my girl, oh no, they out of here. They out of here. He said, that's it. Ain't no chances. Ain't no getting back. If they don't like what I got going on here with my girl, or they trying to do something crazy, he said, no, that's over. I'm squashing that immediately. And so I think that's the type of energy that we need to have when we're looking at these things that we need to get rid of. I know it's not easy. I know. I love food. Food has been a source of comfort for my life over the past 30 years. I enjoy it, but it is not helpful in the quantities that I was consuming without doing any physical activity. So while I want to partake of things, am I doing it responsibly? Am I, moving my body, keeping my health in order or in mind when I'm doing those things that are destructive. A lot of times when we talk about this, we only go to the physical things. We think about that intimacy thing. Can I say to you that anything that is you taking your time and your attention away from your spouse, it is on an equal level playing field. When we talk about sin, again, we talk about the intimate things. Overeating is just as much sin. Gossip is just as much sin. Backbiting is just as much sin. Causing discord is just as much sin. But we always look at, that intimate place. And I'm not saying that's not sin. It is if you're unmarried. But we put it on such a high level, and everything is the same. There's no distinguishing sin. It's sin is sin. It is what it is. So I hope that you were able to self-reflect. I always tell y'all, go back and look at your reflection, sit down and think about it, because it's not easy to give away your friends. It's not easy. Those relationships you had for years and years and years, and y'all got a standing date Monday, Wednesdays, and Fridays, and now you can't do all of that because you realize you need to spend some more time at home. I get it. That's not easy. But I think we can ask the Holy Spirit to help us. We can ask God to give us the words to say to properly disengage from those relationships, those activities, and different things like that. The woman who spends 6 nights a week at church and her husband is home, I get it, ma'am. We all want to serve. But Lord, can you please tell me where I should be serving? Because a lot of times we're just in places because nobody else can feel that. That may not be a ministry that y'all can have right now. If it's you doing this and you do everything, no, what can I reasonably do and still maintain my household? So again, don't just look at the intimacy things, because that is what it is, but it's other things as well that are pulling our attention, and we got to go back and we got to reflect, hey, something has to go, because if it doesn't, then my spouse, my husband, my wife are not going to get the best parts of me. Can I tell you this? I am tired tonight, right? But my obligation is to come because I started this 40 days. I said, I got 40 days to do this. So I don't get a break. I am here. You cannot come, but I cannot come. I come every single night. But after this, and if I had a spouse and he knew and supported my ministry, the ministry God gave me, then I would say to him, okay, babe, listen, in January, I'm doing this series. This is how long it's going to last. This is how I'm not going to go over an hour. This is what I'm doing. And then after that 40 days is over, I'm on a rest break for a month. I'm not going to do another series for another couple months, right? We have moments in time where we have to do things. So I would definitely go to my husband before January and say, babe, this is what I'm doing. This is what the Lord is wanting me to do. And this is going to be that time frame. If I say to him, I'm only going to be an hour or less, guess what I need to do? Be an hour or less. Anytime I start going over that, now I am taking his time, the time that he needs. This may be the only time that we have to connect with each other is in the evening time. Perhaps we got kids or, activities or different things. We might be doing church stuff or whatever the case. But this is the time that I need to spend with him. So if I say to him, I'm only going to be an hour or less, then I need to keep my word and do that, because he is allowing me these 40 days to come and present this material, right? And so I just need to be mindful of that. And we all do, right? And we all can say we all make mistakes. We all try our best, but try a little harder sometimes, right? Go really think about what you can give away, for sure. Okay. Oh my goodness. All right. Today, we're going to prep for day 24, which is tomorrow. Y'all, we have been in this thing longer than we have to go, right? 16 more days, and we are out of here. Day 24 is love versus lust, right? Love versus lust. They are very different. They are not the same. They cannot be confused with being the same thing, even though they might give you the same type of feeling, right? But it is not the same. Do a favor, like the video, share, subscribe, tap the hearts, do all the things. That just helps push us out into the algorithm. We appreciate that, so that people can hear the words of the Lord, right? Amen. So today is an affection day, right? We talk about love, we talk about lust. It's all these emotions and feelings. So it's an affection day. Your source verses: 1 John 2:17, 1 Thessalonians 3:12, Proverbs 5:18 through 21, Hebrews 13:4, 1 Corinthians 7:3. Those are the source verses. Now, I was going back to look up some words when I was going through this. And I looked up lust, and it says this is a very strong, intimate desire. I'm not going to say the word because I don't want to have no problems. It's a very strong, intimate desire, a passionate desire for something or someone. In the theological world or in the church world, in kingdom, it is a sensual appetite regarded as sinful. It is a sensual, which goes back to that intimacy part. It's a sensual, but that's not the only thing that we can lust after. So I'm going to clear that up. There are other things, and he talks about that in here as well. It's not just that sensual, intimate part. That's a big part, but there are other things. You can lust for power. You can lust for fame. You can lust. I mean, think about all these people out here in these social spaces. Everybody's trying to go viral. Everybody's trying to get their moment. And you keep going after it. Now, I look at some of this, and I'm here for it. I do social media, but this can take up so much of your time. This is another job. And some people are trying to do this for the job, so they don't have to go to their work job. They want to do this. But in order to do this, you got to continually, constantly do this type of thing. And I'm thinking, man, I just don't have that time. I don't have that much time to be able to dedicate to this. I work a full-time job. I have kids. I desire a husband. I don't have one yet, but I desire one. And so I'm trying to make my body better. I'm trying to, do all the things that are going to help me get one. But this takes up so much of your time. But I want to be number one. I want to be famous. I want to have my 15 seconds of fame. Honey, what happened to the lady to where who did I marry? She was out there for 3 minutes, and after that, she was gone. Who the F did I marry? The girl on here, she did her little series and she got real big and all the things. Then everybody started doing it. It's no longer your thing, it's everybody's thing. And so that fame went quickly. But some of us lust for that power to the point that we hurt people as we get there. We hurt people on our way up the ladder. And that is unfortunate. Some people they are lustful after name brand things, or they're lustful after certain type of clothing or shoes or whatever. They would never be seen in something from Walmart. Oh no. They got to have red bottoms and Jimmy Choo and all the things. And I get it, but if that takes you beyond your budget and you're stretching your family trying to get to that, it's a wrong motive, and you need to do something differently than what you're doing. But again, it's that drive that's in you that wants to get it. I gotta keep so I can get this thing, because this thing is going to make me feel like I'm somebody. This thing is going to make me have that feeling, right? Remember, love is not a feeling. It can be, but it is a choice. But this thing, I gotta keep going after it. I just gotta do all of the things so we can have that feeling. It's like an adrenaline rush. Think about whatever your thing is. If you're an Amazonian, as soon as you place that order, you feel better. But before long, you got to place another order, because that adrenaline, you need to shop. I gotta shop. Chronic shoppers, it's terrible. And then we look at hoarders buried alive, right? And they got all this stuff. They never open the bag, never open the package, but they have all this stuff because that adrenaline pushed them to that. And so we have to think about, why do I want those things? Why are those things important to me? What is missing? This is the key. What is missing in me that makes me want to have those things so much? And he talks about in this particular section, which I thought was really good, that most of us who have these desires, right, this sensual passion for whatever it is, strong desire, is because we're not allowing the Lord to fill us in those areas. Now, I'm including myself, because I don't want anybody to think I'm special, because I'm not. Because there are moments that I have, when you've been single for 16 and a half years and you have not engaged in any type of activity, your mind can go places. I mean, I'm human. I'm normal. I can see a fine honey Idris and Lord Morris Chestnut, child, Shamar Moore, Jesus, right? And so your mind goes to a place. You're like, oh Lord, get that back. But for a temporary moment, your mind may go to a place that you shouldn't go. Now, it's not. I think the sinful part comes in staying there, right? Because my mind I can have a thought, but if I stay there, now I'm running. I'm on a dangerous slope here, right? It's slippery, and I can stay there And then sometimes when you stay there long enough, you act on that thing. And when you act on that thing, now that's when the problems come in, right? So I can have a thought. I'm just giving myself permission to have a thought because I'm human. And a thought may come. If I stay there, now I got some problems. I need to figure out why I'm there. Why are you staying here this long, Shakima? What is missing in you that makes you feel like you need to be here to get what you're missing? Because here's the thing, no matter how much you shop, no matter how much you eat, no matter how much you fantasize, or whatever the case is, as soon as you're done with whatever that thing is, you're gonna need to do it again. You gotta. It's like Little Shop of Horrors. Y'all remember the plant? Feed me, see more. Feed me, see more. And it started off just as a little plant. Before you knew it, that thing was bigger because you got to keep feeding it. You got to keep feeding that lust demon. You got to keep feeding that desire. You got to keep feeding it because it's pulling on you now. I need you to feed me. And if we stay there too long, that's where the problems come in. Let me go to 1 John 2:17. He says, "The world is passing away, and also its lust, but the one who does the will of God lives forever." Um, he said Adam and Eve were supplied with everything that they needed in the garden. They had fellowship with God, intimacy with one another. And that's the area where people who are single, divorced like me, see, we don't have intimacy with one another. There ain't no other. It's just us. And so you can desire after that which somebody else has. There are plenty of times when I wished I had a spouse. I don't have one. And so I have learned to live without a person in my life. I'm not missing anything. I'm not lonely. I have been lonely before, but I am alone at times, right? So I'm not lonely. Being alone and lonely are not the same. So when you're lonely, then your mind goes to places. Then you stay there a while and you marinate and you play with that thought. And then, before you know it, you have ended up in a bad situation. Thanks be unto God, God has kept me, and I have not had to deal with a lot of that because, in all of the years I've been single, there have been very few men that have approached me outside of wanting to be physical with me without covenant. And I just have not been available for that type of situation. So the Lord has really protected me from those types of individuals, and I'm thankful for it. But everybody doesn't escape, right? We all have something that pulls us, and it doesn't matter. I love the Lord with my whole heart. That doesn't mean that I don't have a thought or two every now and then. Okay, moving on. But after Eve was deceived by the serpent, she saw the forbidden fruit and set her heart on it. Then Adam joined her in sin, and they both ate against God's command. He says that's the progression. It goes from your eyes to your heart to your action. It doesn't matter what it is, the thing, but you see it first. I see it from across the room. He is fine. Oh my God, he's fine. Gee, he's fine. Now I'm committed to this thought that I'm having, and it now comes in my heart because you know how single women are. Ooh, yes. As soon as we get married, you don't even know his name, but you married already in your mind. In my head, I'm married. Ooh, Father help me. And then before I know it, I may have stepped over the boundary line, right? In my singleness, because I'm not married, I may have stepped over the boundary line to get that temporary, momentary release of feeling. And then before you know it, they're gone. You're feeling shame, you're feeling condemnation. The Lord doesn't condemn, but we feel it, and you have regret, and you're trying to figure out how did I get here. And if you don't grab that thing, you can be on the wheel. You can be on the wheel. Like, I did it and I'm not going to do it no more. I did it. I'm not going to do it no more. You know what I'm saying? That thing can have such a hold on you, whatever it is. It can have such a hold on you that you can't get off the wheel. And a lot of times, and I've said this before, that it's just something is missing. There's a part of us that we have not surrendered to the Lord, so God can fill that up. Now, let me just be very clear, because I have been single a long time, and I hate when people say to me, "Well, you're just not ready for a spouse." Just when you not least expect it, he gonna show. I have least expected it. I have gotten myself ready. I haven't thought about a man all this, and I still don't have one. But saying all of that, it's not helpful, right? So we do have passions and desires as people, as humans. So please, 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 if you're giving somebody that's single that advice, that's not helpful. We don't want it anymore. You can keep it. We're good. And I'm just saying that because a lot of people would say they'll put it off on us, on single folks. But it's married people out here lusting after other stuff too. You want what your neighbor has. That's the same thing. It's envy, it's lust. I want it. You saw it, it's now on the inside of your heart, and before you know it, you go now to the car dealership and you got the same car that they got, but they got an inheritance from their grandmama when she passed away to pay for it in cash, and you got payments. Right? It's the same thing. So don't be trying to give one more credit than the other. It's the same thing. I'm gonna move on. He says, we too have been supplied by God with everything we need for full, productive, enriching lives. Jesus promised our material needs for food and clothing would always be provided to his children, right? That's Matthew 6:25-33. Going back, it says, Jesus gave us a rich, full, fulfilling life. That's 2 Peter 1:3-4. And I'm going to read that. His divine power, this is 2 Peter chapter 1, verses 3 and 4. His divine power has granted us everything pertaining to life and godliness. Another translation says he's given us everything we need to live a godly life, through the knowledge of him who called us by his own glory and excellence. For by these he has granted to us his precious and magnificent promises, so that by them you may become partakers of the divine nature, having escaped the corruption that is in the world by lust. That's 2 Peter 1:3-4. Everything we need or have need of, God has placed on the inside of us. For a lot of us, we have not learned how to tap into those things, right? It's in me, but it may be in seed form. It's not sprouted yet. I haven't watered it. I haven't fertilized it. I haven't given it enough of the word. I haven't spent enough time in worship. I haven't prayed enough. I'm not even going to, talk about I haven't fasted or whatever the case is, whatever you believe in your relationship with the Lord, whatever you didn't do enough. So that thing has remained in seed form. When you begin to get into the word, when you begin to spend time in worship, when you begin to just sit silently before the Lord and meditate on the words of the Lord, then that thing begins to grow. And so as it grows, I'll tell you this, because I plant, I'm a gardener, novice gardener, but I do a square foot garden. And when you're doing square foot gardening, depending on what you're planting, it will tell you how many things can go in that square, right? I know a tomato plant gets 1 square. A pepper plant gets 1 square. Green beans, I can put 12 in a square and have 12 plants pop up, but a tomato only gets 1. Now, if I put too many things in there at one time, they're going to overgrow on each other. Tomato plants go from being this. I had tomato plants that were taller than us. They were so tall that we couldn't even reach the top, because they get that big. So that's the thing, right? When you work the word, you worship, you sit before the Lord, you have in a fellowship, in a community, your faith grows. And my faith to believe that God is going to give me the desires of my heart grows. And so as that grows, there's no space or room in me to think that God's not listening to me. God is listening to me. And I'll tell people this all the time. This is my story. Maybe tonight's just for me. It may not be for y'all. This is what I tell people. I know for sure that I wanted to be married 16 and a half years ago. I didn't want to lose my marriage, but my ex-husband didn't want to be married to me anymore. You can't make people stay if they don't want to stay. I loved him enough to let him go. Praise God. He's living his best life. But I know now, 16 and a half years later, that had God given me a husband then, we might have had some really, really rough times. Because when 16 and a half, my son was, well, he'll be 17. My son was 4 months when his father left. But he was so young that my ex-husband was still in our lives because we had young kids. Now, I don't know too many men that want to be dealing with all that. And he would take me through these changes, and I would have to do this, that, the other. It's just too much. And then, hey, calm down. And then as my children grew, they needed me to shuffle them to this place and that place and this place and every place. And they had my full attention. So I wouldn't have been able to give. It would have been, at this point, a misplaced priority for me had I had a spouse, because I was at Taekwondo 4 days a week, and we was there for 3 hours every time. So that's 12, 15 hours. Don't include traveling to different things. There's no time for this. As they got older, I'm helping navigate adulthood and all of that. But now, finally, my children, all four of them, are now at a stage where they don't need me. My youngest son is 16 and a half. He'll be 17 in a couple months. He's going to college. They don't need me. It's just me now. So here it is. Over these 16 years, I have poured myself into the Lord. Me and the Lord, we have become tight. I mean, I have laid on the altar. I laid on the altar for 3 years. I told people, just leave me here. Don't bother me. Don't touch me. I'm fine. Leave me here. Me and the Lord got something to do. We got to deal with some stuff. Because I didn't understand why my marriage didn't work. I didn't understand. I had faith for it, but it didn't work. So I need to stay here with the Lord. And then I thought I was ready to go out there and date. And God was like, nope, not time yet. No, you're not ready. So that takes a lot of trusting the Lord. It takes a lot of getting the word for myself. Again, I think people are well-meaning, but sometimes y'all don't know how to say stuff to us because you're speaking from the point of being with somebody. You forgot what it was like to be by yourself. So again, there's a lot of things out here. Just look at your social media. I follow a gentleman. His name is Dr. R.A. Vernon. He has a church in Cleveland, Ohio called the Word Church. He's married to Dr. Victory Vernon, and I absolutely love Dr. Vernon. But he says, I have to take certain social media things off of my phone because as soon as you open your phone, you can see anything you want to see. And we don't understand because we think it's just entertainment. It's entertainment until it pulls you into that situation. It's entertainment, right? So we see, I mean, I can scroll and I see all kinds of stuff on there. I'm like, what in the world is this? You know, they'll talk, what do they call them? Thirst traps, right? They got them thirst traps, men and women doing it. But it's a 30-second video. It didn't cost me nothing. It costs you everything if you lean into that. If you think you can do your 30 seconds with somebody that's not your spouse, it's going to cost you everything. It could. Now, she might be forgiven. He might be forgiven. She might not forgiven nothing. Not that. No, ma'am. Sir, nope. Mm-mm. So it could cost you. You have to weigh that. Do I want it to cost her? Do I want to pay that? I go with the Jesus paid it all for me, so I don't have to deal with none of that. So you know what I'm saying? Okay, I'm gonna move on. I feel like I'm rambling, but I don't need to. Let me see. God's blessings, however, go so far beyond fundamental needs. He richly lavishes us with his love, his spirit, and his word. Right? It's so much more than our basic needs. We talked about what's above the line: food, clothing, shelter, water. There was another one that was above the line. There's 4 or 5 things. I think it's 4 things above the line. But God gives us more than that. If you go back to Ephesians 3:20 and 21, it says, now unto him who is able to do exceedingly abundantly above. See, that's my verse. Because God doesn't just give me what I need. He gives me what I need, and then he meets some of my wants as well. He fills me to so much capacity that I have not really I haven't missed anything. I have at times wanted something I didn't have, but I've never missed anything. And I think this is what Paul was saying when he was talking about, I have learned to be content. Let me see if I can find that verse. He says, I have learned to be content. Put that over there. Okay. I think it's in Philippians. Let me see. Is it 3? There's 13. No, that's not the right one. I can't remember the right scripture at the moment. But he says, I've learned to be content. I've learned to be okay whether I have it or don't. I've learned to abase and I've learned to abound, whether, he's good anyway, either way. And I think because the Lord gives us what we need and he meets our wants as well, that I've lived that life. I've lived a life that has been content. And I think for the first time, like when I turned 45, I'm getting ready to turn 50. So for the last 5 years of my life, I have been in a contented state. I have been okay. Me and the Lord have been okay. And so I haven't missed anything. But if I'm not careful to keep my mind together, to keep my eyes together, to keep my heart together, I can go there just like anybody else. So don't get it twisted like, oh, she over there serving the Lord. She ain't never going to do nothing wrong. There are plenty of times when I have said stuff I shouldn't have said, went places I shouldn't have went, ate stuff I shouldn't have ate, right? Because we all have that capacity. But when the Lord fills you to overflowing, then it's a less chance that you're going to step out, right? Okay, moving on. Says, like Adam and Eve, we still want more, so we set our eyes and hearts on seeking worldly pleasures. We try to meet legitimate needs in illegitimate ways. Now, I have a legitimate need to feel love, to be loved, to make love, but I don't have a legal way to do it in the kingdom, not right now. So we can step out if we want to. I mean, God's not going to tell us no. I mean, he tells us no, but he ain't going to stop us from doing what we want to do. So if you step out and fulfill that lustful desire that you have, now you are just like Adam and Eve when they ate the apple, right? It's the same. For many, it's seeking fulfillment in another person or in the girly movies, which we talked about yesterday, designed to feel like a real person. Here's the thing. I told somebody this before. I said, when you're out here watching them girly movies, nobody can do all of that. Nobody can do all of that. I said, because I am in the world of social media, I understand what we takes, right? You got to have this take, and then we got to have a 5-minute break. Then you got to take this take, and then we 5-minute break. People, we splice all these things together. We take out stuff we don't want you to see, and we put it all together. Before you know, we got 35, 40, 50, 60 minutes of something for you to be watching, and you expect your spouse to be doing all that. Sir, ma'am, you're not about to be flipping me all every which way but loose. That's not real. It's not. And so to expect to set your eyes and your heart on that for your spouse, that is not real. That's not realistic. And then we penalize our spouses because they can't do something we shouldn't have been looking at in the first place. Like, how did her leg? Never mind, child. You know what? You're not about to catch me outside. Don't be looking at nothing trying to be saying, Shakim, I need. Oh, no, you don't. But our eyes saw it first. Then it was in our heart. Oh, I wonder if. And then you bring that idea home, and your wife is looking at you crazy, or your husband is looking at you like, where you been? Who you been with? What's going on here? Right? So we're trying to get a legitimate need met. Now, here's what I think. Okay, I'm trying to figure out, some of my real friends are in the chat. Okay, here's the thing. I think you should be everything your spouse wants you to be. I really do. When I had a lady, she said, my husband want me to twerk. I said, girl, get a class. If you don't know how to do it, get a class. I don't know how to do it. Get a class. Because I think we should be what our spouses need us to be. But I don't think that we should go beyond into the realm of, that's not possible for me, right? That's not, I don't know what you saw. I don't know how they presented it to you. I don't even know why you was looking at that in the first place. But that is not possible for me. So I do think that you can be his fantasy. I think you can be his girlfriend. I think you can be his boo thing. I think you can be his side chick. Baby, I'll be all them. Maybe not at the same time, but tomorrow you need a side chick, I'm here. You need a girlfriend the next day, I got you. You need a freak in sheets, I got you on Friday. Whatever. I think we can be what we need to be to our spouses. But I think that we have to be careful what we ask them to do. And then if they ask us, where did you learn that, or where did you see that, or how you found out about that, you better be honest and tell them. Well, I was scrolling through and I happened to see I was scrolling through something, y'all. I watch a lot of cooking videos and dogs, pet videos and stuff like that. I do a lot of relationship videos now because I'm really wanting to be in a relationship, and I want to be in a relationship, right? And I just happened to scroll on one of them platforms, and I just was like, what in the entire, how did this make it on here? And I'll put up a cooking video, and they be like, this is not real. We're taking it down. This is not real. I'm like, how did this? I mean, the man just took that woman and slammed her, and the next thing, I'm watching, I ain't even trying to find this. This just popped up. What is going on? But to think that you're going to be safe in these spaces, you're not. You may have to put some type of a filter on your phone. You may have to put limits on your social media, especially these inboxes. You're gonna have to, my wife answers every inbox. My husband gets to see every inbox, so that you're not tempted to go beyond the boundaries of where you should be going. Okay, I'm gonna move on. Let me see. Okay. We look, we stare, we fantasize, we try to be discreet, but barely turn our eyes away. And once our eyes are captured by curiosity, our hearts become entangled, then we act on our lust. Y'all, it's very simple. I was at work today, and I have been trying to do some healthy eating. I go to the gym 5 days a week because I'm trying to get this body together so that if my husband need me to twerk, I'm twerking. Well, I mean, whatever. I don't know how to do it, but I'm gonna get a class. So I'm trying to do this healthy eating, drink my water, and I go in the workroom. It doesn't always have to be the intimate stuff. I go in the workroom, and on the table, child, listen, on the table are these Christmas little peanut butter cake things. And there's a note on it says, the husband doesn't like peanut butter. Y'all help yourself to them. And what did Shakima do? I took one of them things. Yes, I did. Yes, I did. Why? Because my eyes saw it. I have a sweet tooth. It was now in my heart. I've already committed to it. I may as well eat it. Right? So you already commit to stuff, you may as well do it. That's the mindset you have. The strongest person can say, you know what, I looked at that and I really do want this, but I cannot. I'm gonna go the other way. I'm gonna ask the Lord to give me a way of escape out of this, right? Because if I don't, I'm gonna be in more problems than if I stay here. I need to go over here. And it can be as simple as that. I did not go back in and have a second one, but I did look. And when I went back, there were no more in there. I was like, thank you, Lord. Because that can grab you as well. We also lust after money, possessions, power, and prideful ambitions. We see what others have and we want it. Our hearts are deceived and saying, I could be happy if only I had this. Right? We've said that before. I was reading a book, and it's a fiction book, a funny series I've been reading. And one of the ladies in there, her name is Tatiana, and she's married to what is his name? What is his name? She Tatiana. What is her name? I don't even know. I don't remember. But she's married to this guy, and nobody likes her because she's just mean. She's just mean to everybody. But he said he had to buy her a $2 million house that nobody wants to come and visit because they don't like her, because she went on a hunger strike because she wasn't going to eat until he bought that. So first of all, she had manipulation, but she saw this. She wanted the power. She wanted to go after this power. If I live in this neighborhood, it's going to give me this much prestige. And then she ended up having an affair with a guy who was a preacher in the church. It's a fiction story. She was a preacher because she wanted to off his wife because she was trying to be on the top. I can be the number one superintendent of this district and all the things, and we don't see it sometimes. But that thing, it'll start real small. Again, feed me, Seymour. It'll start real small, and before you know it, that thing is bigger than you, and it's gonna eat you alive if you let it. If we don't, not you, if we don't put a cap on what we watch, if we don't put a cap on what we listen to, if we don't put a cap on these conversations, these flirty things that we do, if we don't put a cap on what comes through our social media, we're going to get caught up, and we're not going to be able to get ourselves out, or we're not going to be able to get ourselves out without some type of injury, right? Your pride can be hurt. Your feelings can be hurt. Because some people, and I was reading, I was like, let me see what's the difference between love and lust. So lust is an immediate, it's a wham, bam, thank you, ma'am, and then I got to go. You may not see that person ever again. But love says, I'm with you through all those things. I care about you. It's not just about me. This is not my get my needs met and then I'm going on. I care about you. I want you to be well and all of the things. So if you get a chance, just look at that. Because I was looking, I'm like, wow, because you got to ask yourself, which side of the fence am I on? Am I on this side or am I over here? Again, that's money, that's possessions, that's jobs, that's power, that's all the things. Where am I at? Do I just want to get over everybody so I can get to the top? Or do I care about people? I was going to go back to college to be a principal. I thought I wanted to be in administration. I probably would have been okay. I would have been a good administrator, I'm sure. But as I have been in education for 27 years, and you look and you see, first of all the things that they have to do is stressful. That thing takes you at school all hours of the day. Night, you barely see your family. But then the politics it takes to play the game. and you got to step on this one to get to this one and step over here. And I don't have that. That's not my personality. I'm not going to step on people to try to get what I want. I will probably more times than not, help you up and even push you ahead of me because I care about you getting there. I'm going to get there eventually or not. I'm content where I am. If this is all God has for me, Shakima is content. If you want to go there, hey, I'll help you. Step on my shoulders, girl. You get there. But I couldn't play that game. And it was that power hungry struggle that gets people fighting with their partners, right? I want 51% of the company. You only get 49. Well, why can't we just be 50-50? Because I need more than you. I need to have more shares. It's if you're as old as me, when you were watching Dallas and J.R. Ewing, he didn't want Bobby to have none of the oil, and he was doing this and he was scheming and conniving and doing all the things behind the family back just because he wanted the power. He wanted to be the CEO. His dad died and he wanted to supersede. He didn't want to share with anybody. And with all of that came all kinds of problems, all kinds of issues, all kinds of stuff. And I mean, it was enough to keep you watching every Thursday night at 8 o'clock. Because that's what we did. We watched it. It was a lot going on. He says, I could be happy if only I had this. Then we make a decision to go after it. But those who want to get rich fall into temptation and a snare and many foolish and harmful desires which plunge men into ruin and destruction. That's 1 Timothy 6:9. Lust is the opposite of love. Instead of being grateful for what God has given, we set our hearts on something outside of the boundaries of his provision. Everything we need to live a godly life, God has given us. We'll see other things that people have that we may not think we have, and then we want to step outside of his provision. The only person in my life that has ever done me well has been the Lord, all the time. He's never kept anything from me that I needed. He's never given me something I didn't need. He's always been with me to help me. And so he provides what I need. Why would I even step out and try to get something else? I already know it's a counterfeit. Nobody can live up to what God can do for me. Nobody. Who can keep you this long without it even crossing your mind or bothering your spirit, child? Listen, I was with my husband for 18 years. And we did all the married things. But when that was gone and all I had was the Lord, I said, God, you got to help me. You got to help me through this. I prayed for real because I don't know how to live on this side of things. I ain't never had this before. You're going to have to help me. And he provided everything I need. He provided a job that I love. He provided the kids that I had. They were excellent children. He provided friends to help me entertain me, and I can go places and not have to sit at home and stew over what I don't have. He gave me what I needed, but then more. Okay, lust makes good things that we don't own into objects of our future happiness instead of God. Anything that we want more than him, we have issues, right? Anything we want more than him. I don't know that I want a husband, but I don't want a husband more than I want the Lord, because I understand that my husband is human, and there may be things that he do that I don't like. There may be things that he says that hurt me. There may be things and times where he doesn't even consider me at all. And God always considers me. I am the apple of his eye. He holds me in the palm of his hand. No matter how many people there are, 8 billion people, he still focuses on me. And he still esteems me. His promises are yes and amen all the time. All I have to do is ask the Lord, believe it, and according to my faith, it is. And I'm like, wow, nobody else can do that for you. But this makes us believe that we can get the same feeling that we get with God if we do this thing. And you never get the same feeling, because God has never given me anything that I felt bad about. He's never given me anything that I've cried over. He's never given me anything that I have gone to bed and not got up for days. But when you step out and you do stuff, this is when shame and regret and condemnation and all that, honey, we crying and snotting and all the things. You go to bed, you just depressed. How could I have done this? What was I thinking? You wasn't thinking. Your mind was not on rightness. Your mind was on getting what you wanted. That's because your eyes, then your heart, and then you did it, right? So we spend all of our time just beating ourselves up for the mishaps or the side steps. And sometimes we say, well, I didn't mean to do it. Yes, you did. Listen, let me tell you something. If you did it, you meant it. You did. And you put your whole chest in that. I meant it. Yes, I did. Now, here's the thing. If you have true, genuine regret, right, we go to the Lord and we ask for forgiveness. And because He has grace for us and mercy for us, He receives us back, right? He doesn't remember it anymore. It's us who keep remembering. He don't bring it up. We bring it up. He says, we're okay. Don't worry about this. I don't remember it anymore. But we do that to ourselves. And so that's the hard sell, right? I have to be okay with what God gives me in this season, because next season He may have something different. And I've been with the Lord long enough to know that whatever I have need of, God will provide. So maybe I haven't had need of a husband. I can pay my own bills. I don't need a husband for that. And men get really mad when you say, I don't need a man. Well, where I'm from, needing a man means you need him to pay something for you. I've been paying my bills for 16 years. I was paying it before. So I don't need you for that. I want a man, right? I want him. I don't need him, because God provides every single thing that I need. Okay, I'm going to move on. Hold it on. Lust is always restless and wants more. What is the source of the wars and the fights among you? Don't they come from the cravings that are at war within you? That's James 4:1. Regardless of how amazing or appealing your spouse is, lust will make you dissatisfied with them. Lust fuels anger, numbs hearts, and destroys marriages. Rather than fullness, it leads to emptiness. We think it's going to give us this rush, and before you know it, you have left empty. I don't know if y'all remember me talking about the women of Brewster Place. If y'all ever saw that movie, Oprah Winfrey and Jackie Harry and a couple more people. What's that girl name? Dawn somebody? What's her name? I don't know. She's married to Mike Tyson. Whatever it is. Anyway, there's one scene in there where Jackie Harry's um, character, she's in church, and the pastor's preaching, right? He preaching good, but she wearing some kind of nice not churchly outfit, and he oogling her. Well, at the end of service, he slips her a little piece of paper telling her where to meet him at. And so now her and Maddie, this Oprah Winfrey character, they arguing over, girl, that man don't want you. He don't love you. He just wants you for a good time. She's like, well, when I show up, the wife of a fine reverend like this person. So in her head, she was already married to this man. So she gets to the little place where he put the little note in her, tell her, and they do all the things. And she is just in her, ooh, we gonna be together. He just loved me, all the things. And he says, is there any place I can drop you? And she like, drop me? What you mean? It was there and then it was gone. He fulfilled his need and then it was that was it. Okay, I'm about to take you back to where, because don't think this is a permanent thing. This was a right now thing. I only needed you for these one moments. But now that the moment is over, where can I take you? Where? Because you're not gonna stay here with me. So again, very delusional, very right, and we can be that way. That's all of us, depending on what it is we want, depending on what we've set our hearts on, or what we set our minds on. We can all be delusional. He says it's time to expose lust for what it really is: a misguided thirst for satisfaction that only God can fulfill. I know for sure that God can fulfill every need that we have. I do. He's never let me down, not one time. He says he's not denying you pleasure, just redirecting you away from the sinful and unsatisfying things to the pure and greater pleasures found in him and in what he provides. He wants you to discover that nothing truly satisfies you like Jesus. Nothing. What things in this world are you longing for as your next source of fulfillment, right? It's our next source of comfort. It's the next thing that's going to make me feel better. What? He says, can you admit you don't need them? Are you tired of being lied to by lust? Are you fed up with believing that forbidden pleasures are able to keep you happy and content when you know they can't? It doesn't matter how much it feeds your flesh at the moment. At some point, you're going to have regret. It may not be immediate. I know that. It may be years and months down the road, but you're going to have regret for trying to fulfill something that only God can fulfill. And I get it. We want the human contact. I want the human contact. I'm tired of being the third, fifth, and seventh wheel. I want a partner with me too. Me too. My dad is having an anniversary, church anniversary, and they're having a banquet this year. They have it every other year. So last year they didn't have a banquet, the year before, and I went by myself. And this year it's almost surely, Who's going to go with you, Shakima? But I have to know, I have to learn how to go there and celebrate my dad and his wife and their accomplishments in the ministry and not think about me. This doesn't have anything to do with me. I'm showing up to support them. If I think of it like that, and I know that even when I feel some type of way and I walk in that building by myself, the Lord is still with me. He said he will be with me even until the ends of the earth. I know people can't see him, but I'm telling you, there have been moments when God has wrapped me up in his arms and I felt like it was a person for real. When I have laid in bed at night and turned my face into the pillow and just screamed my head off because I didn't understand why this was happening to me. And God just, he let me act a fool. And then he was right there to help me get better. He just pat my little shoulder and be like, it's okay, Shakima, be all right. And it has always been all right. So we get to decide what it is um, that we want in our lives. 1 John 2:15, do not love the world nor the things in the world. If anyone loves the world, the love of the Father is not in him. Lust is the best the world has to offer, but love offers you the best life in the world. So that is what I wanted to share with you all tonight. Your dare for tomorrow. This is for tomorrow. Y'all, thank you for allowing me to share. And I share my life. I don't dog out my ex-husband. You know, these are just my experiences. I am almost positive that he would have a different experience than I did. We're different people. So my experiences are what they are. I try to, be mindful not to put him out there like that. But okay, here's your dare for tomorrow. End it now. Identify any obsession or object of lust in your life and let go of it. Expose any lie you swallowed in pursuing forbidden pleasures and reject it. Lust cannot be allowed to live in a back closet. It must be killed and destroyed today. Focus on thanking God that He and what He provides can satisfy you and meet all of your needs. So whatever that is that is drawing your attention, you need to put it to, you need to deal with it. Join me tomorrow night, day 25, for Love Forgives. Love Forgives. I do want to thank you all so much for stopping by. I'm happy that you all were here with me tonight. Like the video, share, subscribe, do all of those things, and we will see you the next time. Thank you all so much for joining me. Bye now. Good night, everybody. Thank y'all for joining.